Good day, students. I am your teacher for today, Ma'am Angeline O. Austria from Pasay City East High School. We are now in Quarter 2, Week 7. Our most essential learning competencies is to predict the possible effects of changes in abiotic factors on the ecosystem. Our objective for today is to predict the possible effects of changes in the number of one population to another population living in the same ecosystem. Let us have our definition of terms. Population. Population defined as a group of the same species living together in a specific area at a given time. Here are the samples of population. Species. A group of organisms that can reproduce with one another in nature and produce fertile offspring. We have here the different species of the dog. Predators, an organisms that primarily obtains food by the killing and consuming of other organisms. Bear and tiger are sample of predators. Parasites, an organism that live in and takes its nourishment from that organism or host. Head lice is one of the sample of parasite. Competitors are organisms that struggle for the same resources within an environment. We have here a sample of competitors fighting to one another. Ecosystem is a geographic area where plants, animals, weather, landscape work together, contain biotic factor or living parts as well as abiotic factor or non-living parts. Here are the sample of ecosystem. Biotic factors include plants, animals, and other living organisms in the ecosystem. These groups are producers or autotrophs, consumers or heterotrophs, and decomposers. Abiotic factors, a non-living factor that impacts an ecosystem. The term abiotic comes from the root parts a, meaning without, and bio, meaning life. We have here different abiotic factors. We have wind, water, sunlight, atmosphere, soil, and temperature. Let's find out and describe what is ecological balance. Ecological balance defined in which a community is in the relative proportion to possess a stable unit without interruption by gradual changes in the environment. This balance may be disturbed due to the introduction of new species, the sudden death of some species, natural hazards, or man-made causes. In this module, we will discuss how a change in one population affects another population living in the same ecosystem. Here are some of the events that cause a change in population in an ecosystem that could possibly alter the balance in the ecosystem. One of the events is the absence of original species. If the original species living in the ecosystem has been eliminated, an imbalance in the ecosystem takes place. Look at this scenario. Rice fields are man-made ecosystems that are common in the province of the Philippines. Rats and snakes can be common in this area. What if snakes were eliminated from the area? What do you think may happen to the population of rats? Expectedly, the population of rats would increase. Therefore, an ecological balance could possibly occur. Next, we have the introduction of foreign species. The balance in the ecosystem is disturbed in the entering of a foreign species into areas where they are not native. They are predators, parasites, and competitors. Predators are organisms that preys or feeds on another organisms. A lion eating a deer are sample of predators. Parasites are organisms that live or gets its nutrients from the host. Hair lice are the sample of parasites. Competitors are organisms that struggle for the same resources within an environment. Cheetah and lions that fed on similar prey are sample of competitors. Look at the second scenario. Here in the Philippines, some species such as water hyacinths, the toad, and golden snail have been introduced, but because of lack of natural enemies, it became a pest in proportion and outrage into uncontrolled number. The next event is removal of predator species. Removal of predators in the ecosystem is fine, but declining their number in a very low proportion interfere the balance in the ecosystem. A massive elimination of predators in a community can disturb the prey population and elevate the imbalance in density. Looking on this scenario, overfishing of giant triton, a very large marine snail, causes a death of the coral reefs. This is because giant triton is the predator of the crown of thorns starfish that eats the coral polyps. The absence of giant triton paved way to the increase in population of the crown of thorns starfish. Reverse or altered energy pyramid. The alteration in the energy pyramid may be due to the absent or lack of producers or the overpopulation of the primary consumers in the area. Based from this scenario, consider a simple grassland ecosystem. In this kind of ecosystem, insects, small mammals, and reptiles live. If this grassland is utilized by the grazing of cows, the grasses will be consumed by the cow, and the insects will have to compete with cows for food. There may not be enough producers to supply the energy demands of other organisms. Therefore, an ecological balance could possibly occur. Let us try this exercise. This exercise will help us to predict the possible effects of changes in the number of one population to another population living in the ecosystem. Directions determine the cause of change in population in each scenario. Choose your answer from the box below. Write the letter of your answer before each number. Scenario number 1. A sudden increase in mice population happened when all the snakes that fed on them were eliminated by the farmers. If you answer it letter C, you are correct. This scenario is a sample of removal of the predator species. Scenario number 2. Polar bears are common species in the polar regions, which feed on fishes. Due to melting of polar caps, polar bears lost their habitats, causing the decrease in their population and might eventually lead to a total banishment of their kind. As a result of this possible occurrence, a gradual increase in the population of fishes might happen. If your answer in this scenario is letter A, you are correct. Absence of original species is the event for this scenario. Scenario number 3. Water hyacinth is a native species from subtropical South America that was introduced to the Philippines. This plant species can rise above the surface of the water, which prevent the sunlight from penetrating the water. As a result, the population of other plant species living in underwater decreases. What will be the answer? If your answer is letter B, you are correct. Introduction of foreign species is the event for this scenario. Number 4. A typical grassland where small mammals and insects thrive was converted into an area where sheep are domesticated and breed. As a result, the sheep feed on the grass competing with other small mammals. This might lead to the decrease in population of grasses, which are producers, and increase in the population of animals that feed on them. An imbalance in the ecosystem might occur. If your answer in this scenario is letter D, reverse or altered energy pyramid, you are correct. And last scenario, in 1949, 5 cats were brought to Marion Island, a part of South Africa, in the southern Indian Ocean. The cats were introduced as pest control for mice. This results to the sudden decrease in the population of mice. What do you think is this event? If your answer is letter B, you are correct again. This scenario is the sample of introduction of foreign species event. Very good, student. Let us remember these key concepts. Population is defined as a group of the same species living together in a specific area at a given time. Altering the population in an ecosystem could possibly result to imbalance in the ecosystem. Some of the causes of changes in the number of one population to another population living in the same ecosystems are A. Absence of original species. B. Introduction of foreign species. C. Removal of the predator species. And letter D. Reverse or altered energy pyramid. Let's check it out. Did you understand it very well? If not, you may go back to the lesson presented in your module. If today's lesson is very clear to you, congratulations! You may now answer the exercises in your module. Have a good day. Bye!